Welcome back to my channel. It's great to have you here. So today I'm going to be talking about thriving. So a lot of times we think about thriving versus surviving. So with surviving, I think about we're just on autopilot. We're not really thinking about what we're doing. We're just going through the day. We got our checklist going on. But with thriving, we're really being intentional on what we're doing in our life and how we're living our life day to day. So I have this lovely painting I did, and I want to show you all. And it has the tree on it, and as you can see, it says Thrive. And this has been important to me over the last 2 years. I've really been enjoying images of trees, and I think it's because when you think about the roots, like they're deep, and trees can last for so long. Not that I want to last for a long time, but you think about the beauty of trees and how they just keep growing, and they have those deep roots. And I really think that's what is important when I think about thriving, and I think about thinking deeply about what I'm doing in life. Also, when it comes to meditation and mindfulness, it's also important, and that's about digging deep inside of yourself to see where are emotions coming from, where are feelings coming from, where are these thoughts coming from. So I think that's important, and I love this image of the tree. And so when I was doing this, this was kind of a project at work where we were there. It was all women of color, and we were meeting, and this was one of the kind of projects we did together, where we all painted that. So, and that's the word that came to mind for me. So I wanted to talk about that, and I have 5 things to kind of to think about as we think about a thrive mentality. And the first one is remembering the abundance that is in life. So, and that is around us and surrounds us. And this came from, I was watching, I'll link it below, the YouTube video that I was watching, and the YouTuber that talked about abundance, and the quote that she said is, "We are in a world of abundance." And that's from Nicole Eaton. And it really sparked for me that yes, we are in this world of abundance. There's so many things available to us. And I'm not just talking about money, because a lot of times when we think about abundance and we think about support, we think about money, but there's so many individuals out there that are supporting other people, and that you as an individual are supporting others as well. So just keeping in mind that abundance is out there, and that there's resources all around us. So whether that's online, whether that's in person, it's the pandemic, so we have to be careful with that. But just looking at all the resources and things that are around us. So remembering that there is an abundance, because sometimes we can, and when we have the mentality of scarcity, we really think that we have to hoard things and there's not enough to go around. But I think that's contrary to a thrive mentality. A scarcity mentality is contrary to that when we're looking at thriving. The other thing, so the second thing I want to talk about is comparing ourselves to other. This is something that takes intentionality. It takes really working to look at other people's lives, be happy for them, but know that you and that person or that group of people are in 2 different spaces and places in your life. So I really think it helps us when we're looking at wanting to thrive in our own life, not to automatically compare ourselves to others. And not even automatically, but just in general, don't compare ourselves to others. The other is rest and breaks. And to me, this works in with what I just said with comparing ourselves to others. So rest and breaks for me is about taking time to recenter, to see the things that are important to me and the things that I need to do. And for me, that includes, and how I work not to compare myself to others, is I take social media breaks. So I take breaks from Instagram, I take breaks from Twitter, Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn, I have Pinterest, not as active on there, but with these others where you're constantly inundated with information from other people, I have to take rest and breaks from that. So, and that, I have a friend who is the founder of the Nhat ministry. And so she talks a lot about grind culture, and just like society has told us, you need to always be going, you need to always be doing stuff. And that doesn't work with when you're looking to thrive and when you're looking to really look inside. And when you're going, you can't always stop to enjoy what you're actually doing and really think about what it is I'm doing and the purpose and why you're doing things. So it's important to rest and have those breaks. And I use the word respite a lot because we just need that. We need that time as we can get it. And so I think that also goes along with the grind culture and comparing ourselves to others. We always think we have to be moving, and that also goes with abundance and scarcity. If we're constantly moving, if we're constantly grinding, we think that we have to keep getting things, we have to keep getting resources, we have to hoard these resources, we have to hoard this information. Then we lose track. We are moving towards a center that is about survival and scarcity when we're acclimating to this grind culture of being busy all the time and not taking breaks. The fourth thing I wanted to talk about is the importance of mindfulness. So I came to mindfulness and meditation through Buddhism. So when I was in seminary, we had to take a world language class, and I decided to take, it was actually socially engaged Buddhism. So we talked about, in Buddhism, there's this idea of that we're all interconnected, that, and then there's this social engagement. So about learning about the community, love for your neighbor, and love for your neighbor means that you're looking at the justice things and you're looking at legislation and you're thinking about these laws and these practices and how that affects our neighbor, how that affects how people are living their life. So that's what we talked about. And we learned the basic principles of Buddhism. So from that, I learned about Thich Nhat Hahn, and I have this book that I love from him. I've actually found it at a book sale. And so I need to get some more books from him. But I read a lot online, and I've read some other books that I've gotten from the library. But Thich Nhat Hanh is one of the Buddhist leaders that I really follow. Talks a lot about mindful eating, mindful walking, and but essentially that is, as you're for mindful walking, for example, as you're walking, you're taking time to really, at each step, think about the step. Think about how your foot is moving. Think about the movement of walking. So really taking time to really just think about that and center on that in that moment, the walking that you're doing. The same with mindful eating. It's about and I did this with a practice. I actually taught some classes in a women's prison, and I was able to bring in some things, and we did mindful eating, and we used a tomato, for example, and we put that tomato in, and we focused on what it felt like. And I want to close my eyes because I go back to that moment because I miss the women that I was working with at the prison, so I'm having a moment here. But you close your eyes and you think about what it means as you bite down into that tomato, and you just really go inward with the moment that you're having in that time. So that's about mindfulness. People do mindfulness when they're doing dishes. I'm not really one of those people when it comes to dishes because I'm like, I just want to get this done. But some people do that. But I love walking, mindful walking. I love labyrinths, and which are kind of designs you make in the ground, and they have fabric ones where you walk in a circle and you're getting towards, it kind of goes around in a center. So I love that. And mindfulness is really what has gotten me to really think deeply about when there's certain negative thoughts that come into my mind, when there's negative self-talk that comes into my mind, really thinking through, like stopping and saying, where is this coming from? Why are you having these thoughts right now? And just spending time in silence has been the best for me because it really helps ground me in things that I'm thinking about, things that I'm worried about, and just really getting deeper to why are those things worrying me and why am I thinking negatively about certain things. So that's just something that's really helped me. The last thing I would say is putting joy at the center. So for me, when I think about joy, and this is why I started my whole channel, I think about what is it that makes me thrive and brings me joy. So when I think about joy at the center, it's really being intentional on the things that take up your time, your talents, and your treasures, which is your money. What are those things that bring you joy? And are you doing those things? So when I think about joy at the center, I have to really think about and be intentional on what brings me joy. And I ask you to think about what brings you joy. And those are the things you spend your time, your talents, and your treasures on. And it's not selfish to think about what brings me joy. It is really, if anything, it actually helps you move differently in the world and actually be in better relation with other people when you are centered and you know what brings you joy and you know what you enjoy in life, because that helps you as you're moving along. And if you're centering that joy and working towards a thrive mentality or thriving in life, then that's gonna make a difference on how you interact with other people. So again, like taking that time to really center and to really think about what brings me joy is, I feel like it's so important. And that's the journey that I'm on. And that's why we are here together. And I'm excited to hear about your thoughts down in the comments. So I want you to think about, again, those 5 things I said, remembering that there is abundance in the world, not comparing ourselves to other people, rest and taking breaks, the importance of those, thinking about mindfulness and becoming more mindful in our life, and really centering about and focusing on why we feel certain ways and things like that. And then having joy at the center. Those 5 things. So, really want to hear from you all. Talk down in the comments about what brings you joy. How do you rest? Because rest isn't always about just sitting on the couch. Again, it's about taking breaks. For me, that's social media, that's going to the lake. It's about, even when I know I should be going doing statistics, but I really need a break from doing statistics and working full time and being a whole PhD student and having a conference paper. I just need time to get away, and that getaway could be out of my apartment. So really talk with me about the things that you do, and if there's any struggles you're having, any advice that you have, I would love to hear from you all. Remember to click that subscribe button and get those notifications and interact with me. I really want to hear from you all in the comments. I look forward to seeing you next week, and let me know what you thought about this video. Talk with you soon. So this is an indoor labyrinth from Emory University. My favorite silent retreat center had an outdoor labyrinth. This is just a picture of their front porch. And these are some recent photos I took of trees, since I did talk about those, and those are the image for me when I think of thriving. I hope you enjoy.